I'm not shaming anybody for having sleepovers. To each your own. Personally, it's an absolute heck no for me, because I have seen what these monsters look like, and it's not what you would think. There's a trend going around right now of parents explaining why they don't allow their kids to have sleepovers. Wanted to give you a different perspective because I haven't seen it yet. I talk about it all the time on my page. Some of you might know, some of you might not know, but I worked in a men's prison, a level 5 men's prison, for a little while. And my captain didn't really like me being around inmates. He didn't want any female around inmates, and these are his words, not mine, don't come at me, but especially not a young, attractive one. So he would try his hardest to keep me away from them, put me on post, whatever he could think of. So there was one night that he was like, hey, I'm going to go put you in C dorm. You need anything, you give us a call. I'm like, cool. What dorm is C dorm? And they're like, oh, it's the Chomo dorm. Chomo's the child molester dorm. They do have to have their own special dorm. But anyways, and I remember I went in there my first night. I didn't know what to expect, because what do you expect when you're about to go work with a bunch of and definitely not what I expected, though. And I say that because they were all so nice and extremely respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please. Thank you. Whenever you get a chance, most inmates, they're not the nicest, but all of these guys were so incredibly nice, so respectful. They never gave me a hard time. They never harassed me, probably because I'm not their type, but whatever. And that was probably the scariest thing, was that I think that we think that these monsters look like monsters. They don't. They look like young men or old men, whatever, but they look nice and they have good manners and they're respectful. But that's part of the charm, right? Because they gotta get you to trust them. They're good at it. They're scary good at it. They are incredibly just chill, very respectful, very nice. They would always be more than willing to help me with anything that I needed. Miss B, do you need this? Miss B, can I help you with that? Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please. Thank you. It's just, and that was the scariest part, though, about working with them. That was when the realization hit me. All of y'all have hurt a child. You wouldn't be in here unless you had hurt a child in some way, shape, or form. And there was very particular inmates that I would go home and look up, which they don't want you to do that. They say it's a no-no, but let's be for real. Everybody goes home and looks up what they're in there for. And you go and you look up what they're in there for, and there's no words. But anyways, you don't know what goes on at other people's homes. And also, I don't think we talk about it enough, but not just men hurt children. Not just men hurt children. Sadly, women do too. We are all that our kids have. We are it. We are their protector. We are their provider. We are their advocate. We are their voice when they don't have one. And I'm not shaming anybody for having sleepovers. To each your own. Personally, it's an absolute heck no for me, because I have seen what these monsters look like, and it's not what you would think. And I think that is just freaking terrifying. And you have to look out for your kid no matter what. No matter what. Kids are so vulnerable and they trust everybody. I can tell you, when I was a kid, especially growing up, because my dad wasn't really in the picture all that much, I trusted every man. I just wanted a dad so badly. I just wanted someone to give me that attention that I needed. And if I would have been left with the wrong person, that wouldn't have gone well for me. And we have to protect our children. And just please remember that monsters don't look like monsters. Monsters look like really nice guys. That goes for a lot more than just with kids too. We got to protect our kids, and you don't know anybody. You don't know their intentions. You don't know their motives. You just don't know. And I think that's why it's really important to not do sleepovers. As much as we would love to give our kids that, childhood that we had growing up, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen back then, because obviously it did, but things have changed a lot, even just in the past 10 years. And just from someone that has up close and personal worked with, been in a room with 120 plus human garbage bags before, it's not worth it. Y'all, there was pastors in there was judges in there was doctors in there was men that had daughters in there, even if their daughter wasn't the one that they hurt, which most of the time it was. You just don't know anybody, and you can't trust anybody, because people can have a good face, but you have no idea what demon is hiding underneath that face. And unfortunately, you probably won't know until your kid tells you, or you find out. Is that worth it? Not to me. That's just my opinion.
She makes a lot of good points, this woman, you know, from someone who's experienced working in a prison and in that particular wing, in that particular environment. I think if anyone's qualified to speak on that subject, it's probably her, and she makes points of, you know, she keeps going back to monsters don't look like monsters. She said at the end, you know, judges, doctors, you know, people that like you are brought up to kind of trust as a child, and people that almost command respect really because of their you know, high level jobs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's important for her to you know put her opinion out and say, you know, her children won't go on these sleepovers because, you know, she doesn't. I mean, you kind of know your, you know, friends' parents, but you don't know them. You know, so it could probably be quite hard for someone like her to trust when she knows what kind of goes on behind closed doors sometimes with people who you wouldn't entirely expect to happen. You know, it's important for your kids to, you know, socialise with their friends and stuff like that, but there is another side, and, you know, she makes very good points about that, and she gives really good examples.